Jetta with old brakes, bumping my tunes in an old parquet. That shit feel like it's yesterday. Just like computers, into the future we go. Cheap beers, burn CDs in my bag. Back calls were something I'd often make. Daydreaming of a time like today. Just like computers, into the future we go. Ride around on that highway, I'm not in a rush, I got all day. I ain't gotta put on a show, this ain't Broadway. Don't pay no mind to it, I don't sit in line for it. Waiting around for my moment when I could turn on a dime for it. Yeah, I'm in control, that's all that I know. Cause I've done too much for me to just let go. In my mind I roll when no one can go. Like I'm still riding around in my 92 Jetta with old brakes, bumping my tunes in an old parquet. That shit feel like it's yesterday. Just like computers, into the future we go. Cheap beers, burn CDs in my bag. Back calls were something I'd often make. Daydreaming of a time like today. Just like computers, into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go. Ride around so slow, yeah, I've been feeling alive. Only have what I chose, with that I'll be fine. Everywhere that I go, I've been making up time. Now my gas never low. Maybe that's just my baby. Yeah, I'm in control, that's all that I know. Cause I've done too much for me to just let go. In my mind I roll when no one can go. Like I'm still riding around in my 92 Jetta with old brakes, bumping my tunes in an old parquet. That shit feel like it's yesterday. Just like computers, into the future we go. Cheap beers, burn CDs in my bag. Back calls were something I'd often make. Daydreaming of a time like today. Just like computers, into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go. Oh, 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 into the future we go.
Good morning, somewhere. I had a little bit of a late morning this morning, so I just went and did some things. But I figured I'd still title it Good Morning. It's Good Morning somewhere. Someone said it's 4 a.m. where they're at, 3 a.m. So I still intend on doing morning streams, but obviously on days like this, for some reason my alarm every single day of the week was set for 5 a.m. For some apparent reason, on Fridays, my alarm turns off. So I fixed that. So I woke up at 8 a.m. today, took a shower, did some things, got some lunch, and now we're here. Currently sitting above the all-time high. And you said, can we take a breakout trade? You don't need permission from me to take a breakout trade. All right, if you think it's the correct time, go for it. I mean, we are above the all-time high. Like I said, as long as we're above that all-time high, local high, because it's a range, we could go a little bit above it, a little bit below it, but still be using it as resistance. But for all intents and purposes, when it comes to trading, we look at the exact point. Now would be the time to take a breakout trade. Set your stop loss below, let it do its thing. Whether or not you think. So, like I said, if there's any time to do it, it's now. All right. If you're trying to do that down here, you're kind of setting yourself up for a lot of stop outs. Obviously, if you were playing this line, stopped out, you know, a couple times, depending on how small your stop loss was. We had another bounce back down to the downside after testing earlier today on the first run up. Me personally, this is starting to form a more thicker, like I said before, when we approached the all-time high the first time, if we're looking at this from like a 1 hour perspective, not the shortest time frame, but definitely not what we are used to using nowadays. But we had the first ABC run up here, little tiny thing. Okay, I'm surprised that much price action came from this ABC. Obviously, it's in conjunction with a retest of the macro high, but to see that much of a pullback was pretty interesting. Now it's starting to become a little bit larger. Okay, so like I said, when you're seeing these ABCs at resistances or local low ABCs, all right, that's a good sign that resistance or support might be holding. Doesn't mean forever, but we are seeing A to the B. We put in the higher high right here. Currently, at this exact second, we're using it as resistance. Okay, but like I said, if you're playing this based off of this line here, which is the all-time high, that's where you'd be taking your breakout trade and putting your stop losses underneath that. How far you put it underneath it is up to you, but probably I would say 2 to 3% would probably be a good point. It doesn't look like price action is being too wild on this level here. Let's see. Okay, so that dip right there was 4%. So it's all dependent on whether or not you really think we're ready to take off here. I wouldn't doubt it. Like I said, there's a lot of hype in the market, and we're close enough to the halving where there's not too much. But if for whatever reason we do not see us continue above the all-time high, if that hype dies down at all, the math of the current circulation will start catching up to the current market cap, and from there we might see us break some levels, and then weakness and people's psychology might see it dump even lower. There might be a whole bunch of trapped longs up here that are really excited for a breakout that potentially got in early, and if we do see another spike to the downside, a lot of those could get liquidated. But that being said, I'm excited either way. I really am. Me personally, like, I definitely would like to see a heftier retest, but if we don't get it, we don't get it. It's a weird place to be in crypto right now. And that's the thing, like, if it was last bull cycle and you had some YouTubers, some talking heads that had a little bit more confidence in what was going on, I would give it to them, because, you know, up until that point, everything's pretty much been on brand for what we would probably see. You know, probably a little bit of hype coming into the halving. From there, the math starts catching up. We start breaking through some resistances. Retail comes in, explosion. Anybody who says they know what's going on with this is talking out their ass. All right. This is an entirely different market, in my opinion, at this current moment. We have never seen it do this before the halving. All right, like I said, the halving was over here. And yes, after the halving is when we start seeing a gentle rise to the top. We still see pockets of consolidation, retesting of supports, and really making sure that we're on our way up here. And obviously, once the math really starts kicking high, past this point here, we really didn't have any major local highs. We had this one here, but we blew past that pretty quickly. And then past that point, we don't have anything until the all-time high. So you can see price action pretty much just slipped all the way up to the upside. But with all these macro highs here, you can see points of consolidation. And this is after the halving. Okay? We are still before the halving. The math is not there. like it was at that point there. So, in my opinion, we really didn't see any of that. All right, we saw consolidation here on this price point, not a whole lot here, and obviously local high to local high. We haven't seen anything yet. Is now the time when it does that? Who knows? He said, "Can you please raise the volume?" Yep, I got you. You're not taking a short here based on the ABC rule? Well, I'm not doing much leverage trading at all. Like I said, I might intend to do some leverage trading towards the end of the bull market once we see some much higher highs. Primarily shorting altcoins, but maybe a little bit of a funding short on BTC. I'm holding a lot of spot. And the way that my portfolio sits now, I'm just not interested in the high value game and sleepless nights of leverage trading. All right. Now, we've kind of changed the game how we did things, especially last bear market. All right, we definitely play on the higher time frames. We're playing levels, and once those levels are gone, we can pretty much sit pretty easy for the next, week or two whenever the price action really decides to put in anything major. But in my opinion, like just my personal account, I'm sure many of you are sitting on stacks that you would like to see larger, so you're willing to take the risk with leverage trading. Me, I like the chillax. The last 9 months that I was away, the chillax feeling that I got of buying on DCA dips at local lows, and pretty much just letting price action do what price action does. There's no better feeling. All right. So, like I said, I'm still here. If you're still trading leverage, if you still want me to look at a setup that you potentially might take, I'll give you my 2 cents on it. But just know that I'm not really participating in leverage at this moment in time. Hope your alarm breaks again or I'll never see you live. Yeah, I also figured that there's some people I need to say hello to that might have not been at the earlier streams. I want a DCA on daily drops and dips. Well, we haven't really seen any yet, so. Get Tau. I don't think that I've seen this on CoinMarketCap. It must have a pretty low circulating supply in order for it to be worth $711. Local high. There's no price action on my left side here to really see why it did any of this, but we have this here. The only thing I can really see at the moment is that ABC top. Are we currently below it, or are we sitting like at it? We're currently below it, but let me see. Let me shape it up a little bit more here. Okay, so we're still above it, but ever so slightly. And all things considering, let's see. I'm on a 30-minute. The movement in this coin is kind of disgusting, but on the higher time frames, you can see what you need to see. Crypto Face collaboration live with you when? Probably never, if I had to guess. Yeah. Yeah, some of us are sleeping at 3 a.m. Well, I went live at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. the other day. It wasn't like too early, but obviously if you're on the West Coast, it is late. I'm sorry, man. It's not my fault we got time zones and stuff like that, you know? Where can I buy KDA? Pretty much, so to find out anytime you need to buy a coin, go to CoinMarketCap. Down here, you can click on markets, and these are all your options here. You got Binance US, you got Binance, you got KuCoin, Bybit. Bybit, I think you can trade it, but I don't think you can hold it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, we haven't been on Bybit in a year and a half, 2 years, maybe 3 years. I don't know, man. It's been a long time. There's some exchanges that I have absolutely no clue. You got a bunch of different options. Dude, I know you would probably want me to pay you to answer, but honestly, what is your educated option on the Tesla chart right now? Do I give off that impression that I want you to pay me to look at a chart? No. Stop. We talked about Tesla the other day. It was either yesterday or the day before that. Let me see. All right, so we have this marked out. All right, so we had an ABC top on Tesla right here. It was a little bit of a rocky start to get it back below that resistance, but you can see we came back up and retested it as resistance, and from there continued to move to the downside. As long as we continue to hold below 219, I think the best option and what's probably going to happen is going to be a retest of 101. Now, if you're super bullish on Tesla, I understand, but don't look at me as talking about 101 as a bad thing. All right, so just like everything, an ABC can turn into an ABC, and then an ABC like that, and then overall you have an A to a B to a C. So the trends become a larger one, and then you're looking at that subjectively for the next major move to the downside. That just looks like I drew like some Megatron hologram over my screen. But let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. So you can see right here, we had an A to a B to a C. All right. That was our first kind of position where if you were playing this on the smaller time frames, as this trend was forming to the downside, you can see that was resistance, came back up. We tried to flip it into support right here. We failed. Now we're back below it. You can see on the smaller time frames, we came back up to retest. We just confirmed it as resistance. All right, so we have A to a B to a C. And then we have A to a B to a C. All right, so right now, our current level to watch is this region right here. All right, these are our two major points of support and resistance. If we're above it, bullish. If we're below, bearish. All right, but past that point, we only have kind of this minor support here. So now we have confirmed resistance off of 203. So probably over time, unless we can get back above 203, we're probably moving down to about 148. Now, like I said, this is not a very like macro support here. So we're probably looking for it to come back down to 100. But I don't really see Tesla being super bearish, because if we break below 100, the next available support region on the macro level would be 24. I don't really see that as a high likelihood. So more than likely, what is this turning into? Well, this is probably just a retest building newer support for longer ongoing trend. So we have A to a B to a C. So I do think we might see a tad bit lower than 100, but I don't think for too long. We're going to get back above 100 at some point if we get down to that level. And then from there, this would be your macro buy-in point for Tesla for the ongoing future, if you think Tesla has an ongoing future. All right, like I don't say that negatively. All right, it's just obviously I'm covering my ass here. All right, so that's my opinion, just based on the simplistic like price action that we have. It's not bad, it's not good, and you can apply that to other things like Apple. All right, Apple, I just recently made my decision based off of the same things that we just talked about there. For some reason, Apple is not on my watch list anymore. All right, so Apple, about a year ago on stream, we were looking at Apple, looking at a couple different stocks here. We have downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. And we put in a local low here at 129. I bought, I don't think exactly when we got above 129, but probably somewhere around like 132, 133. And I was holding on to that because I look at these opportunities on Apple as kind of like your generational buys. All right, we very rarely see them, but when we do, they are the time to buy, and pretty much the only time to really get in at a safe price. We had downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, put in that lower low, quickly back above it at 22. That was like one of the most recent last ones. Over here, all the way back in 2008, we had downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Once we got back above this level here, smooth sailing, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, smooth sailing. We had another mini one right here. You can see little blip blips. And then this is pretty much the, like, this was all the way back in 2000. Downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. All right. Put in that slightly lower low, and from there we're continuing on to the upside. So you can see why I am excited on stocks like this when I see that particular pattern. All right. But at the same time, just how this pattern can be a good time to buy, if you flip it to the upside, it's also a good time to sell. All right. So we have uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. So we're kind of caught between two places. Now, if I don't think this would happen, but if for whatever reason Apple starts to range, it could be a good time to kind of like buy and sell back and forth. We very rarely get those on the bigger stocks because these bigger guys just know how to expand, and so their charts only go up because they're billionaires and they run the world. So pretty much it just creates a basic zone. Sell, buy, sell, buy. All right, so I have sold off my Apple stock, and if we do see a return back down to 129, I'll buy it back in hopes that we hold this support region. If we don't hold this support region, there's a little bit of variance to the downside. All right, it's not exactly like in doomsday. We have some support local low here at 102. If we break 102, that's when it starts to get a little bit more iffy. Our next local low would be at 153. There's a small chance that we do turn previous resistance here at 81 into new support, but I very rarely count on that. Typically when price action is moving in a certain direction, it wants to, like if it's moving to the downside, it wants to test previous supports. If it's moving to the upside, it wants to retest previous local highs. Now, if you're in an upwards trend, you're more likely to see retests of previous highs and turn support, but like I said, in this case, we're going to be moving to the downside. So the chances of us looking at previous highs as new support is not the case. There you go. Ooh, we're back below. Thank God. No, you're nice. Am I still mining KDA? No. So we were never mining KDA. We were mining Flux and then taking the profits from Flux and translating it into KDA. Every time I got up to like a certain threshold. Not able to message request you on Discord. I need the DoorDash tea spilled. I don't know what the best solution is. Like I said, I can't say it on YouTube. All right. Why no Crypto Face? You guys had a fight? I haven't ever talked to, I mean, maybe one time, but me and Crypto Face have never been like tight. All right. I don't know the dude that well. He doesn't know me that well. I stopped using his indicator probably 4 to 5 years ago. I have nothing to do with that crypto space. All right. Do you suggest open offshore business for crypto tax save? My suggestion is to pay your taxes. Simple as that. I'm not bullish at all, just seeing opportunities on the Tesla data feed. Yeah, and I mean, I think that is probably the best outlook is a retest of 100 from there. If you still believe in Tesla, I think that would be a good place to buy. You stole NVIDIA? Yes, sir. And apparently, so NVIDIA has something scheduled for 2024. Me personally, if what I'm hearing, and this is usually always the case until we actually see it, from what I'm hearing, the new 5090 is going to be destructive. Pretty much the best graphics card that we've gotten since the jump from the 980 Ti to the 1080 Ti. All right. And for anybody that's familiar with graphics cards and how kind of the years have played out, the performance jump from the 980 Ti to the 1080 Ti was one of the largest that we've ever seen. Pretty much it was the best bang for buck graphics card that you could buy. Even into the 2080 series, it was like how many frames you would get for the dollar that you're paying was still astronomical. And apparently from all the leaked rumors, and these are from like highly credible sources, the 5090 is going to be equivalent to that. So if they pull that off and they don't overcharge people for it, that's a key figure here. I think NVIDIA stock is going to be crazy. Obviously, they got all the other AI stuff going on and all that jazz, but obviously, I'm only thinking about like the reality. The AI stuff is more speculative on its use cases and stuff like that. People want to get in early, so obviously, a little bit of a price jump from that. But from like actual sales, I know me myself as a consumer, I did not buy the 4000 series. All right, I've pretty much bought every single card. I've bought, so I went from like a 770 to, I went from 770s to the 1070, and then I went to a 1080 Ti, and then from the 1080 Ti I went to the 2080 Ti. I bought two of those, and then I got the 3090. I did not buy the 4000 series because I didn't see the point. But if everything is true about the 5000 series, I will pay the money for that. So just thinking from my perspective, what I've done with my money, I'm assuming a lot of other people that are in the same boat have also done that. Because the 4000 series, just besides some of the layered on technologies that came with the 4000 series, there was no real reason. All right, most games that you play didn't use the technology that was in the 4000 series cards to even make it worth it to go buy one. You know, I'm talking about like DLSS. Is it 3.0, the one that uses frame generation? And even that's not perfect. So, you know. But I think NVIDIA has a bright future if this whole thing about the 5000 series cards is correct. And I think the stock will represent that as well. AMD, obviously not killing it with graphics cards, but AMD is just destroying the market price to performance wise with their processors. Like, they are doing God's work with their processors. All right, if you have bought an Intel processor in the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, I'm sorry, but where are you getting your information from? Like, legitimately. Now, if you're doing, like, I'm talking professional CAD modeling, okay, yeah, you might want to go shell out the money for the top end Intel. But I'm talking to like the consumer market here, the gamers, and just regular people in general. All right, if you have bought anything other than the 5800X 3D or the 70, which one was it? Was it the 7800X 3D and the 7900X 3D? I'm not sure. This generation had 2 3D variants, but I'm not sure what the numbers were. Those 3 processors are the bee's knees. Like, they are so good for what you're paying for. And I'm talking about gaming, but they do everything else phenomenally well as well. Yeah, so Sky Knight knows. Like I said, I'll be honest, when it comes to like some programs that are intentionally developed to use every single core in a processor, but most programs aren't. So if you're using CAD or video editing, you're probably navigating towards the much higher end Intels. But gaming and anything else, there's no reason to buy an Intel. They are so overpriced. What games you play nowadays? I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike with some buddies. It's just like a casual game. We've been playing Enshrouded. Enshrouded is fantastic, by the way. I'm a little bit upset that because it's early access right now, like, don't get me wrong, there's tons to do. Currently, right now, I have 82 hours on Enshrouded, and I haven't beat the game yet. I'm very close to it, so part of me is not playing it because I know the end is near. But the lower 1/3 of the map is only accessible because it's early access. But there's so much more that they're going to add. But it's a fun game. It's so fun. It's basically like combine Skyrim / Elden Ring with Minecraft. Yeah, a lot of people make the comparison between it and Valheim, and I understand the comparisons, but I do think they're a little bit different in some aspects. It's not quite as simple as a direct comparison. Oh, what do you do when your video card dies and you don't have integrated graphics? I buy a new card. That's the only option you got there. But most of the Intel processors nowadays, I mean not Intel, AMD, all have integrated GPUs. I know mine does. I have a 5800X 3D. Pretty jealous. My sister just got the 7800X 3D, which I'll be upgrading soon. Definitely will. But like the 5800X 3D, just to go on like a rant here because I love this chip. Mostly, it's not the most powerful anymore, but for what it did, it was insane. You can now buy it pretty damn cheap. Is that resale? That's that refurbished? You can get them at like Micro Centers for under $300 sometimes. But the amount of L3 cache that's on them, for anybody that, so like, not only is it's a boost in performance in regular games, but a lot of the games that are coming out recently have these huge worlds where there's a lot of different instances that are going on. Take like Tarkov, for example, giant map, a lot of gunfights, and your CPU has to render all of that. So the L3 cache, it being like 10 times the amount, allows that to shine. Basically, just from taking my, I think I had a 5800X, 5700X, I don't know which one I had before. Tarkov was getting like 80 frames per second. Just upgrading the CPU and nothing else, I went to like 130 to 140. Like, greatest upgrade I've had on a PC in so long. Changed the game. FYI, we just had the highest 4-hour candle close in history on BTC today. You said 4-hour candle close? I'm looking at a different coin here. Hold on. You talking about the candle closed At the highest price? We're talking about the size of the candle. I think there's larger candles here. Unless you're talking about not logarithmic. I want to upgrade my graphics. Currently running a 3060, but I do 1440p gaming. It's just borderline better than average. It's all dependent on like the experience that you want. I think Nvidia understands that. It seems to me that there's a little bit of a conspiracy going on where they only release cards that match the average consumer. And I do think over the past 5 years, we've seen a big transition from mostly 1080p gaming to at minimum 1440p, but I would argue that 4Ks are becoming kind of the norm. I don't think they're there yet at all. I'm sure if I went and go looked at Steam Analytics, I'm sure that the most people don't have 4Ks, but the price to performance, we are now starting, like, some of these new screens coming out just make my mouth water. These 4K OLED, like 240 hertz. We got 500 hertz monitors coming out. And not only that, but they're coming out in a gloss finish, which we have not seen on monitors in forever. I don't think at all. So these new monitors that are coming out, it used to be that for a, 1440p 240 hertz monitor, used to be $1,000. Now for $1,000, you're getting 4K OLED 144 hertz or above. And I think as that price either comes down a little bit or stays, either the technology gets better, I think a lot more people are going to start picking it up. I know for me, on a lot of these higher end single player games, as long as I can get 60 FPS and play with a controller, I'm happy. If I'm playing with mouse and keyboard, anything under 120 FPS is completely... I can do it, but it's not fun. It's not enjoyable to my eyeballs. It's something about the subconscious input. I was reading into this the other day because there's some truth to the eye can't see past 24 FPS. That is true from a subjective standpoint. But what people don't understand, that's just looking at that statistic, it's not about what the eye can see, because the eye's taking in information and the brain can only update the 24 FPS. It's the subconscious updates that are in between those frames that adds the fluidity to it. And when you layer that on top of input, anybody that says that you can't notice a difference in FPS is absolutely out of their mind. Like, I don't even know why that's still a thing. I think anybody that's experienced it understands it. But there's still people that hold that argument. We are at September of 2017. I'm confused. September of 2017. We're here? Maybe. Maybe. Looks like it doesn't want to hold. There's some pretty good bearish divergence here, but if the hype train takes that away, it's all null and void. So I personally, I've been gaming on 240 hertz monitors, like competitive gaming on them for a pretty long time, and I recently just switched back to my 4K 144 hertz, and it is so noticeable. I forgot how much they cost now, but the new 500 hertz, I think they have a 560 hertz. I think it was like, yeah, 540 hertz. I think this might be my next competitive monitor upgrade. So I'll have the ultimate competitive monitor and then the ultimate like scenic view monitor. Because 4K HDR mini LED is the bee's knees when it comes to like playing video games and just being absolutely in awe of how they look. It's so nice to look at. Is Take-Two that like Prison Break game where like you're playing like two twin brothers or something, I think? Nah, me and my friend were looking forward to Dragon's Dogma. It's a single player game, so we'll probably just be playing it side by side, but it's got a little bit of multiplayer elements, but still mostly a single player game. That's the next game that we're looking forward to. I just want to see KDA go lower. Continue to pick that up. Like I said, it's a little bit of a weird time to be selling or buying. Because technically right now, if we're looking at this from a macro perspective, this is our range. Alright. So to expect it to go lower than $1.42, $1.41 is kind of against the grain. But man, I would love to see it go back down to $1. At this moment in time, I have sold off my working trading allocation to KDA. Alright, it's pretty much just working like this. I don't necessarily have a take profit point yet. But I would probably be buying back around $1. If we get another simple retest, so I traded this the other day and I bought back at 141. Didn't buy back at 141. I was targeting 141. Unfortunately, because of Binance US, they have some shoddy books right now when it comes to KDA. I didn't get my orders until like 151. So I added a little bit of KDA to my stack, but not as much as I would have hoped. But but I would say if you're looking to buy KDA, get as much as you humanly possibly can, at least before $2.35 breaks. Because $2.35, once we break that, it's pretty much a straight run. And by that time, I do think we'll probably be like actually in the bull market, past the halvening, stuff like that. Let me see if I can find. Let me use KuCoins. Yeah, past $2.45. There's no resistances. It's a straight shot until you get to like $8 to $10. So between these 2 points here, you're looking at 327%. What I would love to see happen in terms of like my trading mind, obviously get as much as I can accumulate down in this region, and then from there let the breakout happen. Hopefully see some sort of smaller time frame trend shift happen, and then sell into a retest of this previous local low here, and then hopefully bull market continuation past that point. Like, that'd be awesome, just to add that extra. Let's see, this is pretty decent right here. This is 54%. So, you know, if you're selling off 1,000 KDA and possibly turning that back into 1,500 KDA before it continues to the upside, that would be fantastic. I would love that so much. Bro, you literally sound like you just win all cash. Wait, what? You literally sound like when you just win all cash and are desperate to find a way to re-enter position, bro. I feel. I think you have a misinterpretation of what I'm saying. So the trading portfolio for KDA is like 10% of the current stack. I have 90% that I'm holding on to, that I bought from these lower levels here. I don't intend on trading that. The other 10% I'm free to trade with at will. So I'm taking advantage of this short opportunity, hoping for a return and a retest back down to these lower local lows, and then from there, continue to add to my stack. I highly believe in this coin, so I'm very excited if I can get more. I think you're reading into that a little bit differently from your own mindset. You clearly cut your longs short to early in this new cycle. Universal, are you newer to the channel? So I haven't been longing through this cycle. The last time I touched leverage trading was all the way back here. All right, we were trading a couple trades. But for the most part, I have a spot DCA from here, and I had one right here. Those are my two last levels of DCA, and I'm still holding those. I'm doing quite well. I'm just being realistic with the part where I don't think the market's necessarily ready to break out. And I think that's the opposite of what you're saying. I think someone that's excited to make money and wants to become a millionaire based off of just a couple things wants the market to go full throttle right now. No. Theta? All right, let's see. Despite the rest of the market looking like it's at resistances and looking for a trend downwards, Theta is in a weird position. There's nothing on the current time frame that really spells trend reversal. I mean, we got a couple signs of weakness here, but it's not related to any major resistances. Our next local high is at $4.38. So it could stop beforehand. We do have this little resistance here. But if we do fall short here and the market goes to a little bit of a tumble, I'd probably be looking for it to retest around $2.30 and then find support. And then more than likely go back up and retest $4.50. But at the moment, it's in a weird place comparative to a lot of the other coins in the market. A lot of the other coins are sitting at their macro resistances. Obviously, people are hoping that they break to the upside. This one's in the middle. Let me see if I can get a better look with some of this. If we turn off the wicks, we can see a possible ABC, which would cause it to return back down to 230. But other than that, there's nothing that I am used to that would really play into this. You can see that last local low being used as resistance at first, broke past it, found support, now we're continuing to the upside. Other than that, that's it. Hey Kite, there's a breakout trade and then ABC at the same time. There's a breakout trade and then ABC at the same time. How would you approach that? Well, you can trade one on inverse perpetual and the other one on USDT perpetual. Obviously the short being on USDT perpetual. And just hedge it. So you're essentially saying that this 2 to 4 hour ABC being your short position, and then obviously the macro all-time high being your breakout. I mean, you can just set it up so that you have your short position here. Just set up your stop loss, 2 to 3%. Looking for the local low. And then your long position here. Set up your stop loss, 2 to 3%. Looking for the moon. Like I said, on the breakout trade, just watch and see what price action does. All right, we're going to be putting in new resistances. From that, we'll see smaller pullbacks. Wait for it to return to the new resistance. Take your profit. Take the next breakout trade. And continue to do so until price action starts to slow down. Just curious, if you ever decide to leverage trade again, which exchange would you use? It's really getting tough in the US and the foreign sites are getting stricter and stricter and seizing accounts. Yeah, that's another reason why I'm shying away from it. It's once you come to the conclusion that as long as your stack is large enough, the math is all the same. If you're leverage trading correctly, the math is the same. The only thing that you can't do is you can't short the market. But by selling and buying back at a lower point, you're accumulating more of said coin. And if you believe in your coin, obviously with some of these altcoins, it's hard to do that. But Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin's here to stay. All right, you always know that eventually you'll see higher highs. All right, can I say that's going to happen forever? No. All right, at some point, the math is going to start getting to the point where it can see more of like the market is influenced by the people rather than the math. And it's getting to that point. But the math is all the same. The percentages that you're losing, the percentages that you're gaining, it's all the same. So once you're out of the mindset of I have $100, I need to turn into 100,000 through leverage trading, that's the gambling side of leverage trading. Now you can layer on top of educated movements, making sure that you're paying attention to your stop losses, trading off of some formulaic pattern. But at the end of the day, it is gambling. So but I still have my L Bank account. I don't have any problem using that. And if it's still around, if I still have the availability to use it, we'll open up a couple trades once we get closer to the top of the next bull market. Also, why 2 to 3%? I'm used to using the 1% stops from a few years ago. I'll just do my due diligence. You know, if I'm going to tell you to do something, well, provide a solution. All right. Obviously, I want to give the best answer in terms of less risk. It's your prerogative that if you want to decrease your stop loss to increase your reward, that's up to you. All right. But with the current range that we're playing in, I probably do think, because to the upside is infinity. So by you using a larger stop loss, you're really not missing out on much. And a 3% stop loss still provides a 10 R&R back down to this local low here. If you want to go ahead and turn that into a 1% stop loss, of course you're going to increase your reward. But how many times you're willing to get stopped out? It's all up to you. I don't know. This is a very tough time of indecision in the market. You have a lot of people that are bullish, but I would really be careful with that bullishness. I'm not a bear in the sense that I don't believe that we should be at these levels or that it's impossible for us to break higher. But what I'm saying is that before the halvening, we don't have the incoming supply being drained. So if at any point the amount of money coming into the market slows down, or if people just stop buying entirely because they put in their $1,000 that they're willing to risk in crypto, it's going to start catching up. And then from there, the price is going to trickle to the downside, probably break a couple supports, and then the traders are going to come in. They're going to want to get out of some of their trades. They might get stopped out, and you'll start seeing a trickle to the downside. I've said many times, in my personal opinion, I don't think we're going to see lower than 48K. I don't think we're going to see lower than 38K. Like the worst case scenario is 38K. I think the moderate case scenario is probably 48K. All right, past that point, I have to see it. All right, the first two supports right here, previous resistance, previous support. All right, that's all I can count on if we do see a rejection from the all-time high. Anything past that, I really do think is speculation calling for bragging rights if it happens. All right. Who are you betting on for the Mike Tyson? I'm vaping on Mike Tyson vape right now. All right. Is there like a... I don't even know how to say this, but there's no world. I mean, if you're betting on Mike Tyson being older, good luck. There's no way that Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, even with Mike Tyson being his current age. Mike Tyson would kill him. Elon versus Mark Zuckerberg. Unless Elon gets Neuralink installed to his head so he can think faster and dodge, I'm probably going with Zuck. I feel like he's the type of dude that's kind of like now he has the money, just hired a whole bunch of personal trainers and just became like a super ninja. And he's gonna destroy Elon. Is that even a real thing anymore? Is that still happening? Or was that just like something funny that people talked about and that the other guys played into? Because with half of this stuff, I can't even tell. Yeah, I mean, 7 years of martial arts as a teenager. I didn't know that, but I don't think that changes much. I'm not discrediting a lot of these dojos, but I feel like they're just like an after school program. I'm sure some of them are legit, but some of them are just places for kids to go and just do their thing. Me and Johnny watched the BitBoy fight the other day. Me personally, like, I skipped through a lot of it, and I don't know how like the grading system works and that whole thing, but I didn't feel like BitBoy won. If I were to set this up, if there was no knockout, I would base it on who looks like they got the shit beat out of them. And at the end of that fight, BitBoy looked like he got the shit beat out of him. The other guy just looked sweaty. So to me, in my head, I don't think BitBoy won. But I guess, you know, maybe it's how many punches connect or whatever it might be. So... Is there a set date for it? I'm talking about the Elon versus Zuck fight. August 26th. Alright. There's an official date. Dude, we're at the end of Rome right now. I'm telling you, dude. Matt, what's going on, man? That fight is canceled? Of course it is, man. Just when I thought I might see something cool. Pale white guy that looks like me. Fighting a reptilian. Really looked forward to that. You have any open orders? No leverage trades, no. I sold KDA in anticipation for a pullback. Besides that, I'm holding spot BTC and spot KDA. Oh, I also sold 25% of my Bitcoin. BitBoy should fight Crypto. BitBoy can't dodge the amount of saliva spitting out of his mouth. Today, the fight price. I'm going to tell you what my fists are going to do in the immediate, the short term. Just starts throwing haymakers. Use my affiliate link. Boom. That would be good. That would be good. Yusef, what's going on, man? Starting to get tired. I want to see you and Monk mud wrestle. That would be a quick fight. Monk will probably just run at me. I'm just saying he's gonna run at me. He just doesn't stop. And whatever's left of me is sitting there crying. You think they test for doping in BitBoy fight? No. The amount of Adderall and cocaine that was probably in BitBoy's system was astronomical. The fact that he didn't have a heart attack right then and there blows my mind. Let's see what else we got on here. Yeah, we could probably see a rejection off of this recent touch of the macro resistance over here on the S100. Probably be targeting 14,243. Or possibly a retest of 13.7. ADA's got a massive, just like KDA, has a pretty similar short setup here. So I mean, if we can't stay above 69 cents, 70 cents, it's not good for ADA. We're currently above it now, so that's halfway decent. So really it's make or break right now. If we can stay above this region, 68, 69, our next macro resistance would be at $1.24. So currently this is our range, but we're at the bottom of the range right now. If we fail here, we'll probably be stuck a little bit longer around this region here, with probably some minor retests back up into the top region. BitBoy fights like Randy Marsh. I am upset, but also glad that I wasn't here for all that crypto drama. Like, he really went off the deep end, didn't he? I feel like this needs another layer. If we do see another rejection, I don't know if it's actually going to be the rejection that brings us closer to the bottom of the range. It looks like it wants to go for another try to the downside, but wants to build another layer here. At that point is when, I mean, that gets much, much closer to the halvening. And then maybe one more flash dump, and then from there we pick up and continue on. We'll see. We'll see. Have you looked at ETH? Well, we just took a quick look at it, but I didn't really say much. Ethereum is in a much more weird place than BTC. Ethereum is above its macro resistance of 3586, and currently we are still in a bullish position. All right, this is kind of our line of dependence. If we get below 3846, that's when we see a reactivation of this ABC setup here, but it's hard to say what would be the bottoming structure or where it might want to land if it does have that pullback. As of right now, at this current moment in time, we're free and clear to kind of move between here and 4872. But, all right, let's go ahead and start our shutdown procedure here. I play my my daily Wordle, keep my brain in check. We're 2 for 2 so far. All right, so okay. So we found out where the A is. 3 for 3. That one was kind of close, though. Yep. I mean, it's too early to say. We're kind of still sitting there, but at this moment in time, we have confirmed the bearish structure off of a second layer. Obviously, with the first ABC coming up, very small ABC, but with that being said, it was at a macro resistance. This wasn't out of the cards, pretty much called that. Now with us putting in the second layer here and building a larger ABC structure at the resistance, currently below it, probably looking for another move to the downside. I don't think, like I said, it does look still thin. I think we'll probably see the middle of the range. I don't think we're going to see 48K, even though that would be awesome. Yeah, this kind of looks like what I would expect to see. It might happen a little bit quicker, but a retest of 48,300 after the halving. I'm just thinking about the flash dumps. Obviously, the last one kind of occurred with COVID, so I think those two things combined caused a little bit of an overreaction. But I do think this was going to happen either way, but because of COVID and the timing, it happened much deeper than I thought it probably should have happened. But more than likely, a retest of this, either one of these two levels here, was probably in the cards from this point here. And then the halving came after, and then we started to see it go up. So I think a flash dump to 48, and then post halving we charge to the upside. But that's just my guess based on the current range and kind of the current pattern that we're sitting in. But all right, with that being said, we'll start logging off here. Bro, the Ray's donut start is top tier. He said Ray's donut. I mean, that was pretty good. What word would this be? I told you, buy me a knife. I had a good run on Skin Club today. Me and Monk were playing, and I put in like $7. And I got it all the way up to like 85 bucks. But, you know, me and Monk together, we do dumb things. So, the 85 no longer exists. What? Uncut? Alright, you got it. Good guess, good guess. Nice. All right, guys. I'll check you tomorrow. I'll probably be on a lot earlier in the morning, around probably 6, 7 a.m. my time, and we'll check in and see what price action's doing. I'm looking for a dump, but we'll see what other things happen in the meantime. Do you think do all-time high break ever happen during the weekend? I'm not sure. You can back test it. I don't really. I just never been one to be like, oh, because of this date, this is gonna happen. I pay attention to the price action. Usually, you can tell what's gonna happen or what can happen, and then plan accordingly. It's never about knowing. It's about understanding possibilities. All right, guys. I'll check you later. Let's look for some sort of song to play on the outro here. I don't know. I'll play this song. Alright, guys. Let's do the thing. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!
Lost all my control of the right way. Sipping little juice on a Friday. Wrote this hook, buzzed in the dive bar. Now everybody sing it, oh my God. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, yeah. Go back and take a look at all the reason in the rhyme, yeah. Bartender give the nod, I say I'm doing fine, yeah. Quancho in my blood, got me speaking double time, yeah. If you speak my name in vain, you might just cross the line, yeah. Acting like these other motherfuckers in the limelight. Words becoming dull, it's time to sharpen up their hindsight. People getting Humpty Dumpty, I come with the rewrite. Look between the smoky lines, underneath the black light now. I don't need another cup full, I just need a change. Cause lately it don't feel right, and you've been playing games. Lost all my control of the right way. Sipping little juice on a Friday. Wrote this hook, buzzed in the dive bar. Now everybody sing it, oh my God. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh yeah, yeah. I will be the guy who go ahead and blur the lines now. I ain't ever fitting with no crowd, I guess that my town. Shot a bullet popping from the hammers that I lie down. If you say my name in vain, you might just cross the line, yeah. I think it up, hey. Then I hit record until you press play. Used to pray to God right before I went to sleep that my hook melodies would get me to my dreams. Ooh yeah, dump on my cup like I dump on my fucks, it's all part of my plan. Making my point and I'm pointing at you. You taking a dive while I'm taking a stand. I don't need another cup full, I just need a change. Cause lately it don't feel right, and you've been playing games. Lost all my control of the right way. Sipping little juice on a Friday. Wrote this hook, buzzed in the dive bar. Now everybody sing it, oh my God. Ooh yeah.